Honorable Minister Mr. Jaram Ramesh, my colleague Raghuveera Reddy, previous Vice Chancellors, present Vice Chancellor, professors who are here, other distinguished leaders and participants of this conference. I think it's a very vital and important subject, which is the legal aspect of land and the working of paralegal model to resolve land problems. It is easier said than done. It's a very difficult subject. When the dispute is between the government and an individual, there is a possibility that we can solve it through legal ways. When the dispute is between two individuals, it is very difficult to convince anyone to settle for a compromise. That's what I have realized in land aspects, because in rural areas, we work extensively with farmers, and because land is a part of a person or his family, he values it like a treasure which he would not like to part, whatever may be the consequence. Land being a status symbol, he has that affinity towards land, and I can tell you now cases where I found the people who are fighting for the land to be foolish. I know a case, two cousins were fighting for 5 acres land. When they started the fight, the value of the land was 10,000 rupees an acre. Today it is about 2 lakhs an acre. Each of them has spent about 30 to 35 lakhs going up to Supreme Court. And finally, after 30 years, still the land dispute continues. That is the type of, I don't know if you call it affinity or you call it, I can't describe how you call it. You call it foolishness, or you call it affinity, or you call it love towards the land. And I know an incident where a teacher getting a salary of 20,000 rupees got his own brother murdered with 2 children and wife for 2 acres of land, which is worth 40,000 rupees. Stray examples I am saying, because the affinity and the importance of land, how much it is in the rural areas. We have taken a lot of initiatives from the government. We had a system earlier on called, we were looking after the land records. I think in Telangana it was called Patwari. Patwari. In Andhra we used to call it Karna. If anyone did not listen to him, there used to be a land dispute coming up very soon. Because they knew the total land records, the history of the land records in that village were in their control. Slowly a dispute used to develop where the labor or the farmer did not listen to these people. I think that is the reason Mr. Ramarao took a decision of abolishing the system. Although we opposed the system of being abolished then, Because the history of the total lands, the dispute in the land, what was the problem in the land, that particular person was the person who knew everything. So it's very important we have clear title. It is very important that the transactions are clean. It's very important that the disputes are sorted out as soon as possible. What should be done for this? One, there should be no of records. Records are very easily tampered. So you need a foolproof system of having records and history of the records priced and not tampered. That's very important in land records. That's what we are trying to do. We have given about, I think our state has been a pioneer in land sealing. We were the first to come out with land sealing and distribute the excess lands to the poor. But still, my friends here will agree with me that there are still thousands of lands to be distributed, which is excess lands, which is in the landowners. I think my friends are laughing at it. It's true. See, that is the type, because these lands are still in Binami names. These lands are in someone's control, on someone's name, but it's under someone's control. You have this problem where big chunks of lands were transferred into different persons' names to come within the ceiling limits. We've got different types of land problems. We have given 54 or 55 lakh acres, that is assigned lands, to the poor in this state, which cannot be sold. They can cultivate the lands and it goes on to their family members after them. But lot of transactions have taken place in these lands. So we tried to, I think about 3 years back or 4 years back, we tried to do a resurvey of the whole lands in the whole state. I think about 6 or 7 lakh acres was found to have transacted, which was supposed to be cancelled, then given it to new persons. We are trying to get the assigned lands being given to registration offices so that no registration of land can take place as far as assigned lands are concerned. They cannot be sold or they cannot be bought. We have started a lot of programs for the SC/STs where lands were given a long time ago. We started the Indra Jalaprabha now, as Revenue Minister just said. Here we are trying to irrigate the lands which were given several years back to the poor, which were not cultivable or which did not have water. We are trying to provide a total package with water, with micro to the poor, so that he can cultivate his lands and he can come out above the poverty line because water is a very important ingredient in cultivation. Once water is available, I think he can go in for any crop, whatever is best suited for them. So we are taking about 30 lakh acres for leveling and making them cultivable, 10 lakh acres under water. Here the subject we have is paralegal. It's a very convincing the people to amicably settle is a difficult and time-taking exercise, but that is what has to be done. Going into courts, there is no way any party is going to benefit it by going into courts. The usual saying they say that the person who wins cries at home and the person who loses cries after coming out of the court. Especially land cases take 20, 30, 40 years to be settled. So the best is trying to settle them amicably or out of court settlement, and I think people with little bit of incentive and initiative, how this has to be done, little bit of training legally, what is correct, what has to be done, is very essential for doing this. And we are trying to come up with a service where clean records are put. I think we have taken a model, 3 districts we are taking. This connects all the certificates also, including birth, death certificates, birth certificates, we have caste certificate, we've got income certificate, Pani, Adan, all land records, all this we are trying to computerize them, and we are trying to see that the person who wants it does not go to the government office. There is no interface between the government officer and who's this record, so that there is minimum level of interaction or corruption involved in this. So we have to have a very clean record once we are thinking of giving it through the computer and through a private party, digitally signed by the Tahsildar and RDO. So it's very important that all the records should be clear and clean before it is computerized. So it is taking some time for this, although it takes time. I think it's worth the wait and it's worth the while. Because approximately 2 crore transactions take place every year. 2 crore transactions or 2 crore representations are given every year for these certificates. So it becomes very easy for the citizen to get all these certificates once it is done with the computer and other these things. I think you have taken a good initiative here. I wish Sunil and all the team, under the guidance of Mr. Sridhar and Nalsa, to come up with trying to help the poor people in solving their land problems. I wish them best of luck. And it's not going to be an easy task. It is a very difficult task. The very Mahabharata was fought because of land. So we have got our epic talking that there is going to be there are wars fought because of land and kingdom. So it's a very difficult task, but it's a challenging task, and I wish them all the best. And the support from the state government will always be there to see that the records are put as clean as possible. Thank you very much, and we have taken lot of initiatives in this field, and we are trying to make it as simple and easy to the common person in this land records and land titles